Hello everyone, welcome to Soul Echoes Originals. Today, we're bringing you a story about a man who seemed to have everything: a successful career, a beautiful family, and financial security. Yet, he was losing what mattered most without even realizing it. It's a tale that will remind us that life isn't measured by how busy we are, but by how present we are in the moments that truly count. They say time is money, but Thomas learned, a little too late, that money can't buy back a single sunset. Thomas. He was 42 years old and worked as an investment banker at one of the top firms in the city. Thomas was always preoccupied with work. Every morning Thomas would wake up at 5:30 a.m. before the sun rose. He would quietly leave the house while his wife and children were still asleep. Every evening he returned home after 9 p.m., long after his children had gone to bed. His office was his second home, his desk was covered with reports, his phone never stopped ringing, and his calendar was filled with back-to-back meetings. Thomas's wife, Clara, would often say to him, "Thomas, the kids are growing up so fast. Don't you want to spend time with them? Emma asked about you again today." Thomas would kiss her on the forehead and reply, "I'm doing this for them, Clara. I'm building their future. Once I get that promotion, things will be different." But deep down, Thomas felt something was wrong. He couldn't quite name it. He was successful. He had money in the bank. His career was impressive. Yet, he felt hollow. Despite all his achievements, Thomas felt hollow inside. On weekends, even when he was physically at home, his mind was somewhere else. He would sit at the dinner table, but his eyes were on his phone, checking emails and stock prices. He was there, but he wasn't really present. His son, Jake, would try to show him drawings from school. His daughter, Emma, would ask him to play. But Thomas would say, "Not now. Maybe later," and return to his laptop. Clara noticed this. She saw her husband becoming a stranger to his own children, but she didn't know how to reach him. One rainy Saturday afternoon, something unexpected happened. Thomas had a rare, free day, no meetings, no urgent calls. He felt restless. He didn't know what to do with himself. Then he remembered his elderly neighbor, Mr. William, who lived alone in a small cottage at the end of the street. Mr. William was 78 years old, a retired clockmaker, and Thomas hadn't visited him in over 6 months. Feeling guilty, Thomas decided to pay him a visit. As Thomas entered the cottage, he noticed something unusual. The house was filled with clocks. Grandfather clocks standing tall in corners, pocket watches displayed on shelves, wall clocks ticking in every room. All of them were working, ticking in perfect harmony. Mr. William greeted him with a warm smile. "Thomas, it's been so long. Please sit down. I'll make us some tea." Thomas sat in an old wooden chair, feeling awkward. The cottage was simple but cozy. There were no expensive decorations, no flat-screen TVS, no modern gadgets. Just books, clocks, and photographs of Mr. William's family. Mr. William returned with 2 cups of tea and sat across from Thomas. "So," he began gently, "how have you been, my friend?" "I've been busy," Thomas replied automatically. "Busy," Mr. William repeated slowly as if tasting the word. "Tell me, Thomas, what have you been busy with?" Thomas began listing his achievements. "I closed 3 major deals this quarter. I increased my portfolio by 40%. I attended 15 board meetings. I'm being considered for senior vice president." Mr. William listened quietly, nodding. Then he asked softly, "Thomas, that's very impressive, but tell me, what have you experienced?" Thomas paused. "What do you mean?" "You've told me what you've accomplished," Mr. William explained. "Accomplish means to complete successfully, but experience means to feel or live through something. So I ask again, what have you experienced? What moments have touched your heart? What memories have you created? Thomas opened his mouth to answer, but no words came out. He realized he couldn't think of a single meaningful memory from the past 6 months. Mr. Williams saw the confusion in Thomas's eyes. He stood up and walked to a beautiful grandfather clock in the corner. "Thomas," he said, "I want to share with you 3 lessons my father taught me before he died. These lessons changed how I saw time and how I lived my life. Lesson 1. Time is falling like sand." Mr. William picked up a small hourglass from his shelf and turned it over. The sand began to fall grain by grain. "Imagine your life as this hourglass," he began. "The sand represents your days. Every grain that falls is gone forever. You can't put it back. You can't pause it. You can't save it for later." He handed the hourglass to Thomas. Most people watch the sand fall and think, "I still have time. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next year." But they forget. The sand doesn't fall slower just because you're not paying attention. It falls relentlessly. The first lesson is this: time doesn't wait for you to be ready. Thomas stared at the falling sand. He thought about all the times he had said, "maybe later," to his children. He thought about the 3 years he'd been planning to spend more time with family, but kept postponing. Lesson 2. Presence is more than attendance. "Thomas," Mr. William continued, "you go home every night, don't you?" "Yes, of course." "But are you really there?" Mr. William asked. "You're physically present, your body is in the house, but is your mind there? Is your heart there?" Mr. William then asked, "Can you tell me what your daughter Emma's favorite subject at school is?" Thomas hesitated. I think it's math?" Mr. William shook his head gently. "It's art. She told me last week when I saw her at the park. She's been drawing portraits of the family. She wanted to show you." Thomas felt a wave of shame wash over him. The second lesson: being there isn't enough. You must be present. Lesson 3. What will you remember? "Finally," Mr. Williams said, looking directly into Thomas's eyes, "let me ask you something important. Imagine you're 80 years old, lying on your deathbed. Your life is almost over." He paused. "What will you remember? What memories will comfort you in those final moments? Will you remember the board meetings, the quarterly reports, the promotions, the deals you closed?" Another pause. "Or will you remember your daughter's laugh when you pushed her on the swing, your son's face when you taught him to ride a bike, the quiet evenings holding Clara's hand, the bedtime stories, the family dinners?" Thomas felt tears forming in his eyes. The third lesson is this: your legacy isn't what you earn. It's what you leave in people's hearts. That night, Thomas couldn't sleep. Mr. Williams' words kept echoing in his mind. He went to his children's rooms and watched them sleep. Emma was hugging a drawing she had made. Jake had a book by his pillow. He realized he didn't even know what book his son was reading. The next morning, Thomas did something he hadn't done in years. He called his office and took the day off. He woke up early and made breakfast for the family. Clara was shocked. The children were delighted. "Dad, you're home!" Emma shouted, running to hug him. "Yes, sweetheart," Thomas said, kneeling down to her level. "I'm here, and I want to see all your drawings." That day, Thomas took his family to the park. He pushed Emma on the swing. He played catch with Jake. He held Clara's hand as they walked. He wasn't checking his phone. He wasn't thinking about work. He was just there. From that day forward, Thomas made a commitment. He committed to leave work by 6 p.m. at least 3 times a week, have dinner with his family every night, with no phones at the table, spend 1 full weekend day with his children each week. take an annual family vacation with no work interruptions. 6 months later, Thomas visited Mr. William again. "How are things?" the old man asked, with a knowing smile. Thomas smiled back, genuinely. "I'm still successful at work. I didn't get that promotion, but you know what? I don't care, because now I'm also successful at life. I'm there for my family. I'm building memories, not just a career." Mr. William nodded, his eyes warm with approval. "You've learned the most important lesson, Thomas. Don't waste your life chasing things that don't matter." Thomas's story teaches us 3 powerful truths. First, time is not renewable. Every moment that passes is gone forever. We can't save it, pause it, or get it back. The sand keeps falling. Second, true presence requires both body and mind. Being physically there while mentally absent is still a form of absence. Your loved ones don't need your body. They need your attention, your heart, your full presence. Third, at the end of your life, what matters isn't your resume, your bank account, or your job title. What matters is your relationships, your experiences, and the love you shared. So ask yourself right now, are you living your life, or are you just going through the motions? Are you building a career or building a life? Are you earning a living or earning memories? The choice is yours. But remember, the clock is ticking. Today, we learned some important words through Thomas's story. Let's review them. Preoccupied, completely absorbed in thought, too busy to notice other things. Example: she was so preoccupied with her work, she forgot her friend's birthday. Hollow, empty, lacking real substance or meaning. Example: his success felt hollow without his family to share it with. Harmony, a pleasing combination, things working well together. Example: the orchestra played in perfect harmony, relentlessly, continuously, without stopping or slowing down. Example: time moves relentlessly forward. We cannot slow it down. Shame, a painful feeling caused by awareness of wrong behavior. Example: he felt shame for neglecting his responsibilities. Commitment, a firm decision or promise to do something. Example: she made a commitment to call her parents every week. Remember, learning English can be fun when you practice regularly, so keep listening, learning, and growing. Make sure to like, comment, and share how this story made you think about your own life. Have you ever felt like Thomas, too busy to truly live? What changes will you make today? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next story where we'll continue learning together.